What's good? What's good? Welcome back to Invest and Trade with Jax. Hope everybody's doing well. Basically no movement for the price of Bitcoin, but I wanted to show you guys some alternative wave counts here. So currently we're sitting at 16.9, up 0.04. Wow, on the day. Sitting market cap of 324 billion. 24-hour volume 14.05 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to BitGate, make sure to sign up, grab up to 8K in bonuses. BitGate and Bybit are where I do my trading. You can email me or sign up email. I'll give you free access to my Discord of over 2,000 members. So we may be putting in a 1-2-1-2 setup because a wave 3 should be impulsive. So if this is your wave 1 down, this is your wave 2, you should come down quite swiftly in a wave 3. However, if you come down and then you start to retrace, especially if you come back into the previous wave 1, the first wave 1 to wave 2 zone, it can be a 1-2-1-2 setup. So how that would look is we came down in a wave 1, a wave 2, and then once again you come down in a wave 1 and a wave 2 before coming down in the wave 3. So potentially what I'm looking at here is we've come down in a wave 1, we had a wave 2 pullback, and once again you're putting in a 1-2-1-2 setup. So we've come down in a wave 1. We're going to zoom in on the 1 hour time frame. And we've ABC'd into a wave 2. Now there's two possibilities here in my opinion. The first one is that this wave C is complete, a 5-wave move. And now you're going to start to see the impulse to the downside, which will bring you down in the wave 3. And within that, we have a completion of a subwave 1 looking to pull back in a wave 2, which we've been covering here on the channel. The second option is that the wave C pullback into the wave 2 is going to be larger. And all of this first impulse, this first 5-wave impulse is just a wave 1 of the wave C. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would have a wave 1. This is a wave 2 pullback. And then you would look to push up in a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 to complete the wave C. It would have to be, it can't break the start of the wave 1. If it were to come up and break to 1.3, that would invalidate it. So we'll just quickly drop in a line here. So if we were to come up and break this level at 21.4K would invalidate that scenario. So it is a possibility. If we just continue to push up here, I'm going to redraw the squiggly line here. So what you'd be looking at is a wave 1 of the wave C. Wave 2 pullback, look to push up in a wave 3. You'd see a wave 4 pullback and a potential wave 5 to complete the 1-2-1-2 setup before coming down in the wave 3. That's one of the possibilities. And the second possibility is that the wave C is already in, completing the wave 2, and you're looking to come down. So what I'm waiting for is to see if we come up and break this high at about 18.3K, because if we come up and break that high, then it invalidates the impulse to the downside, and I'd be more convinced that the wave C is not complete yet, and this is just the wave 1, wave 2 pullback, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 to complete that wave C, and then see the impulse down in the wave 3. Hopefully all of that makes sense. Definitely recommend Googling 1-2-1-2 setups, because if you come down in a 1-2 and you're looking for an impulsive wave 3 where you come down in 1-2, you should see a strong impulse to the downside. You shouldn't really see you come down. This is a strong signal of a 1-2-1-2 setup where you come down and then you start to retrace, especially if you come back into the wave 1 zone. Then it's more likely that you're putting in a 1-2-1-2. Now there is a possibility that this is an ending diagonal wave 5, as we're seeing with some other coins, where we ABC'd into a wave 1, we ABC'd into a wave 2. You could look at some sort of ABC into wave 3. This is an ABC into a 4, and then we come down and ABC into a wave 5, completing the bear market, or at least finding a bottom. Either way, we'll have to see how it plays out with this correction here. If we push past invalidation points, then we'll have a better idea of what kind of wave count we're putting in here. But overall, I still think you're coming down to 10 to 13K, which is the next strong level of support. Also lines up with previous trading volume. And it also lines up with my timeline of the market potentially turning around in April and May of 2023. All right, guys, so that's what I'm looking at. From a more simplified perspective, we broke down from this rising wedge. We came down to retest this level of support of this large falling wedge pattern. Looks like we're putting in a little bit of a bullish divergence. You can see we're just trading sideways while money is flowing back into Bitcoin. So there is definitely potential to see a bit of a bounce to the upside, and then potentially create a lower high, roll over, and see continuation down. We'll have to see how it plays out. Looking at this channel here, so what we may see if we do push up is we retest this level of resistance, get rejected, and then begin to continue to the downside. As you can see, we came all the way up for a test of this trend line, so we may bounce for a retest before seeing continuation down. Not until we break this level of resistance, start to come up and break this previous high, would I be more convinced of a potential bottom being in this at the 15K range, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me as there's not a lot of previous support at that level, and there's a much stronger level of demand in between about 10 to 13K. As we can see on the Dow Jones, we're seeing that bounce. I said, look, guys, if we're going to see a bounce off this level of support, I do think we'll create a lower high and then roll over and fall back down into the pattern, which would obviously be negative for the markets. We'll have to see how that plays out. And of course, the DXY, we're potentially looking for a double bottom. I said watch for a bullish divergence. We haven't quite made it down to that previous low just yet. But as we can see on the daily time frame as well, we're quite close to oversold. Looks like we may start to put in a bullish divergence on the daily. And we've been talking about that strong level of support for the DXY in between 100 and 102, which could definitely offer a bounce in my opinion. All right, gang, hopefully all that makes sense with the Elliott wave counts. Just a couple things that I'm looking at here. And so if you do see the price of Bitcoin start to bounce and break this high of 18.3K, then what I'd be looking at is an extended wave C. The wave C isn't in yet of the wave 2. And if that does play out, then what I'd be looking at here is you're looking at a 1-2-1-2 setup where we've come down in a wave. Oh, let me grab my brush quickly here. Come down to wave 1, wave 2 pullback, 1, 2, and then you would see the impulse down in a 3, 4, 5, which potentially could take you all the way down to about 9K, 9 to 10K, which is definitely on the table. But if we just start to break down from here, then what you'd be looking at is the wave C is complete, and you would start to see that impulse to the downside. So we'd be looking for a rejection in between 17.3 and 17.9. With a minimum target of the 0.382, which we already have hit with that wick there at 17K. And if we come down and we break these lows, that's more confirmation of coming down in that impulse. All right, gang, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to sign up to Bitget or Bybit. Email me your sign up email. Free access to my Discord of over 2,000 members posting chart patterns, talking all things crypto. And at the 10 USD membership, early access to my analysis as well as signals. You can see what I'm doing with my HODL all plays for 10 bucks a month. And I'll see you in the next video. All right, much love. Take care.